Okay, so today we will start API testing, okay, API automation basically. Before that, any idea what is API? Any idea what is API? Anyone? I mean, I am not asking any automation, but just API. What do you understand by API? The word API. Mm. Mm, partially correct. I mean, percentage of incorrectness is more. Okay, Rupali, any idea? Hmm? No, that is full form. Okay, fine. See, in today's world or any real world things, right? No application can sustain standalone, right? Suppose this is your Uber, okay, Uber application. Hmm? Suppose this is Uber. Do you know there is a map view here, right? Map view. In if you open the Uber app, you'll get a map view. So this map is from where? This map is coming from Google, right? So what they are doing, they are borrowing the map facility from Google. They are borrowing the map facility from Google. So what does it mean? I mean, how they are borrowing, how they are connecting, right? So this connection medium is called or will be called API. Okay, so API stands for Application Programming Interface, which is a um, it's a kind of full form, right? API is Application Programming Interface. Okay, API means Application Programming Interface. Um, it is a set of rules and protocols. Okay, so API is a set of rules and protocols that allow different users, different not different users, sorry, different applications or different software applications, right, communicate with each other. So there should be some rules, okay, there should be some rules or protocols in between which will allow Uber and Google to communicate with each other. This is called API. Okay, so API is actually what it is doing then. API is actually enables the integration of various systems, letting them share data and maybe functionality seamlessly, right? So Google Maps functionality Uber is using seamlessly. How it is possible? Because of API, because of set of rules or protocols. Okay, so API is, so what is the definition of API? API is a set of rules or protocols, okay, which will help to communicate between two applications, okay, two software applications. correct? Now, why API testing is important? Now, why we should test these API things, right? It is just communication between things, right? So API testing uh, ensures the reliability, right? Reliability, how reliable the system is, the whole thing, the communication, integration between the systems and all. Performance means, suppose you are calling or you are using Google Map, that Google Map is not performing well. It's slow, it's running slow, it's hanging, right? Security is main feature we have to test, right? What is how security, right? So security means, suppose you are using um, Google's feature, right? Google's what I say, Google's one application called Google Map, right? Now Google has to make sure that you are not able to access their personal details. Okay, so they will create one gateway, and only that gateway you should access. Okay, you should have the access only for that gateway and shared data, not the other data. That is the security. Because see, if you can use their personal data, then any Tom, Dick and Harry, they'll be hackers, right? Some hackers will come and access their Google's sensitive data. So security is also, and API is a gateway or path of a security breach, by the way. Okay, so when we will do some API testing, we have to test like cross scripting test, right? We have to think about some SQL injection. So these kind of things we have to take care during API development and everything, right? And we also have to have that those test cases. Hmm? And so the types of the functional testing, what I mean, types of the API testing, what will be the types of the API testing we have just covered? It's functional testing, security testing, integration testing we can have. Okay, another thing we can have to check the performance. Okay, performance load testing or performance testing can also be done on API. Okay, so how API works? How API works, right? See, let me I am giving you one example. Uh, we'll talk about website. Okay, any web application or website. So what are the parts of a website? So first is the front end, right? Is the front end, and the next thing is the back end, correct? So back end means your database and everything. Okay, so let's say this is my back end. Okay, back end could be your database. Okay, application database basically. It could be some other some other data source. It could be some other API or some other application. Okay, and this is my front end, means GUI. Okay, this is my GUI. GUI means graphical user interface, right? So what we see, the website, what we see, right? Who is joining? Uh, for an application, what we see, correct? So there should be some connectivity. There should be some connectivity between this GUI and your backend. Okay, GUI and backend. Now see, Suppose I have one login form. Okay, I have one login form here. So in the login form I have, let's say, um, username, username, password, okay, and the login button, right? Username, password, and login button. Now, how a particular application will determine whether you have provided right username and right password? What do you think? What is the procedure? The procedure is they have, already told you, right? A GUI consists of three things. Okay, a GUI consists of three things. One is called HTML. HTML is the skeleton. Skeleton. Um, then CSS. CSS is the beauty. Beauty. And JavaScript. JavaScript. JavaScript is the brain. Okay, so HTML, CSS say, I mean, using the HTML and CSS, we will create these graphical interfaces, right? Now, what JavaScript will do? JavaScript will, suppose this username, I am putting here the username as uh, Suam. Okay, username is Suam, and password password is, let's say, password. Password, right? So JavaScript will create out of these inputs, you will create a JSON file, okay, or JSON request. Okay, it will create a JSON request out of the inputs are received. Now this JSON request will be sent. That is also will be done by JavaScript. Okay, it will be sent to the backend. Okay, and these send and receive things will be done by the API. Here the API is coming. So this JSON file will be created by the JavaScript, okay, and then this JavaScript will be read by the API, and API will further check in the backend whether this username and password exist. If it is exist, whether these username and password is correct. So if it is correct, it will give us a 200 OK, or it will give us a 200 OK response. Okay, 200 OK response. 200 OK response. So what is 200 OK? That means that the username and password exist in the database, and the username and password you passed or you have entered is correct. So it will instruct the JavaScript to let you in to the application. Okay, it will let you into the application and it will navigate to the next page. So this is how the API works. So API works on the request response protocol. Request response protocol. Okay, API works on request response protocol. So API will send, or application will send request through API, and then you will get some other response from other application or database. that okay, this is okay or this is not okay. Suppose your username and password is wrong, so what will get? 401 unauthorized, unauthorized. So what are these 401 200? Okay, what are you writing, Swam? What is this? So these are all codes. Okay, these are all HTTP codes. HTTP codes. So if you go to Google and search for various HTTP codes, ah, HTTP codes, then you will find this REST API tutorial. What is that? Okay, there is a Wikipedia. We have HTTP codes wiki. Okay, HTTP status code, list of HTTP status code, Wikipedia. Okay, so this will list all possible HTTP code, like 200. Okay, means what you are trying to fetch will be is absolutely fine. You have authenticated successfully or something like that. Okay, 201, suppose you want to create some data in the database in the backend, then 201 would be the HTTP status code. Okay, 202 accepted. So this kind of thing you can go through. Okay, uh, the important things are 200 201 is very important, and for 400 bad request, 401 unauthorized. Okay, 402 payment required, 404 not found, 403 forbidden. So these kind of things, and when you will get any 500 error code, okay, that is somehow server side error. Still 400, it's client side error. That means in your request parameter there must be something problematic. But when you will get some 500 error, that server side is not responding. See, 500 is internal server error, 501 is not implemented, 502 is bad gateway, 503 service unavailable. So everything will be server side. There are two things, right? Client side and server side. Client side means GUI, server side means your backend server side. I'm giving you this list of codes you can go through. Okay. Any question on API? Concept of API, basic concept of API. Yes, internal API is UI and backend. Okay, there could be many APIs. Like I told you about Google Maps, right? That uh, right. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Correct. Hmm. Ah. Right. And it is sent by API. Correct. Right. Hmm. Correct. Hmm. Right. That is the API. That is the concept of API. Mhm. That is the concept of API. That is internal structure. That is internal structure. Means JavaScript will not be a blank one, right? It should hit some API. It should get some API first. There is a connectivity. When you'll learn, um, I'll strongly recommend to learn full stack development because I teach it. So, it's configured. Configured means who will configure? It's my application. I will configure it. Yeah, it's developer will do that. Hmm. Developer will do that. It's up to developer. How and what API should call, when to call. So all these things are there. Okay. So when we talk about, let's say, Java development, right? What Java developers do? Java developers creates API, okay, using Spring Boot technology or Spring anything. So they create a kind of APIs to call or to fetch the data from from front end and send it to back end and then vice versa. And from back end they're taking the data to the front end like that. Okay, so this is the overall web application structure, right? Architecture. Hmm. Okay, so we talked about protocols, right? We talked about what protocols. So APIs are a set of rules or protocols. So we have two, I mean, worldwide accepted protocols, or rather, popular protocols. Okay, one is SOAP, and next is REST. Okay, so the SOAP protocol is currently abundant. Abundant. Why abundant? Because there are many what I say drawbacks of SOAP protocols. I'll come into it. I'll discuss those things. And right now, make maximum companies are working on REST APIs. REST APIs. Okay, REST APIs. This is the protocol name is RESTful, and the APIs are called REST APIs. Hmm? REST APIs. Now, what is SOAP? SOAP protocol. Now, SOAP protocol will see uh, the, the the front end things are all fine. Okay, the front end things are everything is okay. Only thing, the JavaScript will create, instead of JSON they will create a WSDL file or WSDL file. Okay, they will create a WSDL file which is a kind of XML. It looks like somewhat like this WSDL. Okay, then the parameters are there, right? Parameters like XML files. Okay, it's absolutely same as XML files. And then there would be uh, closing of WSDL, right? WSDL close. So this WSDL or WSDL file is mandatory in case of SOAP protocol or SOAP APIs. But the problem is, one, the WSDL file is much complex. Okay, many developers do not understand the WSDL files properly, so they send some problematic request, and that will adversely affect in the backend the performance of the application. Okay, and then uh, suppose you are not it's not mandatory, right, that you will only use your internal application. You can also use your external applications. Okay, external applications, but you are sending your request in WSDL file, but they do not understand the language of WSDL. They only understand the JSON. Okay, because most of the companies, most of the organizations are switched from SOAP UI or SOAP protocol to REST protocol. Okay, so suppose you are talking in Marathi. Do UK people understand Marathi? No, right? So you have to speak in a common language. So WSDL language or WSDL is kind of language, right? WSDL request is kind of uh, and it is not used by most of the applications nowadays. So they are using, so all the applications are decided to use REST protocol or REST API instead. Okay. So why SOAP is not used? SOAP is not used due to its complexity of its request and response thing. Next thing is, not most of the applications are using WSDL file as a request parameter or request payload. It's called payload. Okay, just remember the term payload, request payload and response payload. So payload means this request structure and response structure. Okay, it could be either JSON, it could be either WSDL file, anything. Okay, so people are using REST API. Hmm. 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 It depends. It depends how much you are involved in your testing, basically. Okay, how much you are involved in your requirement gathering. So mostly API uses one documentation. Okay, which is called Open API. Okay, Open API. So those kind of documentation you can use. Okay, those kind of documentation, that whenever developer will create API, right, they will create such documentation. They will create payload for each and every endpoints. They will create payloads, right? So this is the structure of payload. Now you have to change the data. You have to change the data. So apart from that payload, it will not accept anything. So it must be documented somewhere. Mostly it should come from documentation, and if it is not, then developer must provide you the payload. And during requirement gathering only, you have to be clear of these kind of things. Who will be responsible for creating payloads, right? Is developer is going to that going to give that payload, or it's us who will create the payload. Mostly the documentation, Swagger documentation. There is a application called Swagger application. Okay, Swagger API. Okay, Swagger. So Swagger is what I told, right? It's open API. Swagger. This SWAGGER Swagger. So API documentation. Okay, so this is a kind of uh, it will create documentation for you, for your API. Okay, so learning thing. Okay, understood what is SOAP and what is REST. REST, I just talking about REST API, right? So REST API, what REST will do, REST protocol will, um, it has some advantages. What are the advantages? It is, it will generate a JSON file as a payload, okay, request payload, and it can receive JSON payload as a response, right? It can receive a JSON payload. Also, it is, REST API also supports some other forms of request and response, like plain text. Okay, like plain text, like XML. Okay, um, normal txt file means plain text. Okay, right? So those kind of request and response are supported by REST API. So REST API, why we will use REST APIs? So REST APIs will support the JSON, okay, another REST API, as well as if you have some WSDL or XML files, it can support, or it can still communicate with you. Okay, so REST API has so many advantages. Got it? Hmm. Okay, fine. So for API, right? For API, so API has four methods or four functions. Any API, whether it is SOAP or whether it is REST. Mostly, I'll talk about REST. We will not talk about SOAP, because SOAP is it's not largely used right now. It's limited to some old applications, right? Some old applications still use this SOAP protocols. Will mostly emphasize on REST API testing. Okay, not REST API testing, REST API automation. But to understand the REST API, or to understand the testing, you have to understand the internal structure of API. Okay, you have to understand the internal structure of API. Okay, so there are four methods. Mainly there are four methods. Okay, the four methods are called CRUD operation. CRUD operation. Okay, CRUD. Okay, so what is C? CRUD means create. Okay, create. So in API it is called post method. Okay, in REST API it is called post method. What is R? R is called retrieve. Retrieve. In API language it is called get method. Okay, U for update. Okay, in API language we'll call it put method. Okay, and D for delete. In API we also call it delete. So post, get, put, delete is called CRUD operation. Create, retrieve, update, and delete. So, what is create? Suppose you have one database in the backend. You want to create one record. You want to create one record on that particular database. That is called post. You have to use post method. Okay, you have to use post method. You want to retrieve, you want to just select star from so and so things, right? Correct. So for that operation you have to do, or you have to call get method. Okay, you have to call get method. Then it is called, it is coming as update. What is update? Suppose you have one row or you have one record. For one column you want to change something or update, right? Update something. You have to call the put method. Okay, and delete. Suppose you want to delete any data, delete any record your uh, from your database, then you should call delete method. You should call delete method for your deleting the record or deleting the row. Understood? Any doubt, anything? Right. Get. Hmm. 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 Any question? Anyone? So we will see how this post, get, put, delete things are. mm these are created right in the back end. Okay, we'll see how these things are created, or how these things are structured, how API structures. Okay, so for that we'll create one API. Is that fine? We'll create one API on our own, and it's basically a back-end development, or rather back-end development, but still we can do. It's a simple thing we'll do, and we'll see how this get, a post, get, put, delete works. Instead of using some additional, some external APIs, we'll use our own APIs. I usually show these to my students. Okay, how these things are going. Is that fine? It's just a little code we have to write. So for to do this, we have to use Spring Boot technology. Okay. So for that, we have to go to Spring Initializer. Hmm? Spring Initializer. Okay. This start spring IO, spring initializer, this one. Everyone, please do with me. Okay, your API things will be absolutely clear, no one can beat you. Okay, now here we will create, let's say, a Maven project, right? So we will use Maven, and language would be Java. Okay, and Spring Boot 3.3.4 is okay, no, not a problem. And then we will use the group name as com dot internal API. Okay, group name would be com dot internal API. Okay, the artifact name would be, let's say, API demo, API demo. Okay, and okay, so com dot API demo, right? So packaging jar is selected and Java 17 because we are using Java 17. Okay, so it is done. Left side. Just a minute. I'm getting some message from office. Just 2 minutes. My screen is visible, right? Okay. We were facing some issues yesterday, right? So that issue was due to the version of Spring Boot we were using. Okay. So let's. I mean, I have changed the version. So just change it, and you can delete this security config.java. I have removed that security portion. You just remove that. I mean, delete this security config.java. Okay. Let me delete it also. And here from pom.xml, right? From pom.xml, just remove this security, right? Spring Boot starter security. Just comment it like this. Only Spring Boot starter security. Once done, Just save the pom.xml and reload. Yes. Now go to the app. Yes, yes. You just delete it. Okay. So this is your application dot properties. I think you have it, but anyway, if you have something else, you can copy it. We are not using any kind of security. Okay, we are not using any kind of security. It will directly access the APIs. Let me know once done. Don't forget to save the pom.xml, okay? Otherwise it will not act. Right? Everyone done? Now you run this main method, okay? Run this main method. So once you, I mean, this running is successful, right? So what will, वो डिलीट कर दो. कौन सा, I mean, what you are getting? Just a minute, huh? Just share your screen. Why it is? Yes. You have pom.xml दिखाओ. गड़बड़ की हो pom.xml में. सिक्योरिटी को कमेंट करना है. सिक्योरिटी को ऊपर का ये कर दो. कंट्रोल एस. अभी येस में क्लिक करो. Yes, sure. Okay, so run this main method. Okay, run this main method. Oh, one more thing. Go to pom.xml again. Go to pom.xml again. Here, if you will find 3.3.4, the version Spring Boot starter parent version is 3.3.4. Just make it 3.3.2. Okay, because we are facing the problem with 3.3.4. Just make it 3.3.2. Line number 8. And save. Again, save it. Nirmal, you just joined, right? We did something in this code. You have to, I mean, these security things we are removing. Okay, this just comment this Spring Boot starter security like me. Nirmal is there? Nirmal, are you able to hear us? Anyway, she might be facing some problem. Okay, done. Rupali Vanilla. Okay, fine. So now what you'll do, you have to run this main method. Once this is up and running, this started API demo. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go to our Thunder client. Okay, and see if you just, and for the gate, right? Mm, just send it like this. Okay, so this is your gate URL. 8081. I am giving you the URL for gate because I mean I have changed. Why? Because 8080 was occupied for me. Okay, so it was kind of khichdi things we were seeing yesterday. Okay, already Jenkins, I mean, instance is working. I mean, it's running on 8080. So see if you are. Uh, yes, new request. Click on new request and get request. Okay, simply get request. You should get this 200. Okay. 200. Okay, right? And with a blank thing, because we do not have anything in the database, that is why the array is blank. Okay, array is blank. 200. Okay, correct. Now what we have to do, we have to create an entry. Okay, we have to create an entry. So this is the payload. Okay, first this is the URL. Create one post call, and this is the URL. This is the URL is same basically. A post call, create, instead of get, from drop down select a post call. And click on body, and you can send this kind of body, or rather you write this body on your own. Okay, on your own. So this is ID 1, name Subham Banerjee or something, your name, and address Pune, something like that. You put. Make sure the structure should be same. JSON. JSON is selected. Okay. Body is created, all comma and everything is okay, right? And that's it, just send it. Okay, it should also be okay. Okay, it depends on developer. Ideally the created message or created code, status code, should be 201 created, but I am the developer, so I am deciding it should be 200. Okay. Okay, they both ways it should be fine. Yes, create, click on send. So your application is working, right? Like this you are getting, right? Okay. 500. Okay, can you show me? Yes. Yes. Mm, okay, ID 1, name is this, address is this, body, and post query 8081 students, localhost students. Everything is fine. Mm, 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 mm. 500 internal server error. Okay. Mm, can you please go to headers? Headers. Huh. What is this? Okay. So ideally we should not use these headers. Okay, in headers, just in the next line type content type. Okay, in the, हाँ वहाँ पे लिखो content type, टाइप करो, आ जाएगा C कैपिटल, हाँ वो सिलेक्ट करो, content type, इधर एप्लीकेशन जेसन, वैल्यू में एप्लीकेशन जेसन, जस्ट टाइप एप्लीकेशन, हाँ द फर्स्ट वन, करेक्ट. Now try to send it. 500 internal server error. Okay. No, no, auth will not, because we have not done any auth. Show your code. Show me your code. Okay, students .java. एक second. It's 3 parameters, right? 3 parameters you have provided, right? Now go to student controller. No, show me the post mapping once. Student, just a minute. Return repository dot save, that is fine. Student repository student. Okay. Everything is fine. Go to student repository. That is also fine, I think. It's simple, right? And go to this application things, application API demo application dot class and args. And this is your Spring Boot application. Everything is fine. Go to properties. Let me check. The properties you just copied, right? That is fine. That is fine. API demo application test क्या है? Okay. Okay, nothing. हाँ वो उसको कमेंट कर दो. आई वॉज टेलिंग यू. देखो, स्प्रिंग बूट स्टार्टर सिक्योरिटी, you just comment it out, okay, like this. क्या? नो वो टेस्ट टेस्ट क्लास वो क्रिएट किया है, ऑटोमेटिकली क्रिएटेड है, जो जस्ट क्लोज इट एंड वी डोंट रिक्वायर राइट नाउ, जस्ट क्लोज इट. हाँ, फॉर्म डॉट एक्सएमएल. वो तो स्टार्टर टेस्ट, इट्स फाइन. Okay, and Nirmal, just that security configure class, right? That we created, you just delete that class. We don't require that. We are removing the security things, authentication thing. Sorry, Nirmal. Okay. Okay, fine. Rupali, do one thing. Just stop the application and start it again. हाँ. नहीं, वो देखो ऊपर देखो एक ये है ना, उसको स्टॉप करो. स्टॉप, हाँ, स्टॉप इट. ये एक्चुअली आपका इट्स नॉट वेब सर्वर फेल्ड टू स्टार्ट. कैन यू सी 8081 already in use? So what you do, because you are I mean some other application is holding that 8081 already, so go to application.properties. हाँ, इसको 8081 है ना, सेकेंड लाइन में इसको 8080 कर दो. हाँ, वैनिला यू टू 8080 करो, कंट्रोल एस, सेव करो, एंड देन अगेन रन दिस API डेमो एप्लीकेशन. रन इट. No. Okay, something is happening. Just a minute, huh? It's starting. It's not yet started. So you are getting application is running, right? Okay. Now go to your Thunder client. Now that post, right? Post, and change it to 8080 again. Constitutes violation of the terms. इसको क्लोज कर दो, क्लोज इट, नो प्रॉब्लम. हाँ, वो 8080 की जगह 8081 की जगह 8080 करो URL में. हाँ, 8080. Okay, now send. Now again 500. Okay, so you are getting some error, I think. That is fine. Just show me the terminal. क्या error क्या आया है? हाँ, थोड़ा सा ऊपर करो उसको. Just check what error you are encountering. टू लार्ज देखना पड़ेगा, डेवलपमेंट करना है तो देखना पड़ेगा इन डिटेल. बस वेट, थोड़ा ऊपर जाओ. इंस्टेंशिएशन एक्सेप्शन, नो डिफ़ॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर फॉर एंटिटी. अच्छा, ओके, फाइन. अच्छा, ओके, स्टूडेंट क्लास में जाओ, स्टूडेंट डॉट जावा में जाओ. ओके, एंड क्रिएट वन डिफ़ॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर. मैं देता हूँ आपको, रुको. Mm, student.java में please paste it. It's a default constructor, right? अभी इसको स्टॉप करके फिर से रन करो. It should work, I think. Stop किया and then again run. उसको डबल क्लिक मत करो. हाँ, वो डबल क्लिक करने से दो बार रन होता है. Okay, now you try to Thunder client, try to trigger that post call. हाँ, correct. Now go to get. अलग अलग क्रिएट करो ना, अलग अलग क्रिएट करके रखो. पोस्ट एक हुआ, एक गेट क्रिएट करो. हाँ, उसको गेट कर दो ना. नीचे वाला जो है उसको गेट कर दो. नीचे वाला ये देखो ना. अच्छा, न्यू रिक्वेस्ट क्रिएट करो. चलो, कोई बात नहीं. हाँ, यहाँ पे वो सेम यूआरएल डालो. लोकल होस्ट 8080/students. वो HTTPS नहीं, हम लोग कोई सिक्योरिटी नहीं डाले हैं. HTTP /students. HTTP only. Now send it. So what you have created, you are just getting it. Correct? Okay. Now get and post we have done. Get and post. This is how we have to check. This is the response payload. Response जो JSON आपको मिला है, this is called response payload. Now here you can check whether your name is correct or not, whether your address what you have entered is correct or not. This kind of assertions you can make. Okay, this is the kind of API testing we have to do. Now what we will do next. Now can I share my screen? Vanilla is done. पार्टी कब दे रहे हो? वेब डेवलपमेंट सिखाया फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. वेब डेवलपमेंट ये वेब डेवलपमेंट है बेसिकली. ओके, बैक एंड डेवलपमेंट, राइट. ओके, खुद अगर वो कोड थोड़ा सा देखोगे, ये कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल है क्या? आई मीन आई एम डूइंग इट फ्रॉम लॉन्ग, दैट इज़ वाई आई मीन मैंने टाइप किया वैसा. कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट थिंग नहीं है ना कि आप नहीं कर सकते हो, दूसरे लोग कर सकते हैं, ये दूसरे लोगों के लिए है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. नथिंग लाइक दैट. एवरी वन कैन डू एंड दे कैन स्टार्ट ऑन एनी एज, बिलीव मी. Okay, so let's go to put. Okay, we have a put method, right? So देखो यहाँ पे put method मैंने किया. So this is your URL, right? So for you it should be 8080. Okay, just create a new request and select put. Okay, and the same way you have to pass the body. Okay, the same way. So for which you want to edit. Put means update, right? Suppose here I have entered it at as Kolkata. I mean, I am just uh, editing the address. I'm just editing the address because I have created provision to edit the address only, not nothing else. So you also try to edit the address. I changed the address to Kolkata. From Pune to Kolkata I have changed. Okay. यस /1 दिया है ना आईडी पास करना पड़ेगा फ्रॉम नहीं 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 ये ID1 है ID1 हाँ हाँ हम्म your port is 8081 is somehow blocked, occupied. That is why you have to use 8080. For me, 8080 is occupied. That is why we are using, or I am using 8081. Okay, done. अभी गेट करके देखो. It should be changed to, the address should be changed to your new thing, right? Either instead of Pune you just put some other city. हाँ क्या हुआ ये रूपाली हाँ गेट गेट करो गेट करो गेट करके देखो जस्ट सी whether that address is changed or not, updated, right? So put is working fine. So put is working fine. Now we have to do the delete. Okay, we have to do the delete. So delete में क्या दिया था याद नहीं है अभी देखता हूँ. What we have passed in delete. So here in the student controller we have created, right? So so delete mapping also it should be ID, means /1. So it will delete that record, I mean with ID1, the record with ID1, right? So same way let's this is a put, right? Let's duplicate this put. Okay, duplicate it and ओके रीनेम कर दो ना, रीनेम कर दो इसको करो डिलीट. ओके, पुट की जगह डिलीट कर दो DEL. एंड दिस इज 8081 200 कॉपी. ओके फाइन. and this is enter. And okay, and this would be your delete, right? Delete, control is. Okay, now if you send it, see, student of id 1 is deleted and you are getting 200. Okay, right? If you again do this gate or again fire this gate, there would be nothing. Correct. Hmm. एक ही तो record है ना. Now you can through post call, now you can create multiple records. Okay, and edit those records using put. Okay, and just delete one of them. Can you do that? Using post, you create some records, 3 to 3 4 5, I mean 3 to 4 records you do I mean create. Then using put, you edit something, some address. Okay, some of the records. Now check whether it is changed or not. Okay, and now one of the record you delete using id. Okay, so id means id would be 1 2 etc etc. Okay. Mm. Mm. दे नहीं, एक एक करके ही देना पड़ेगा. उतना एडवांस हम लोगों ने बनाया नहीं चीज़ों को. Remember to change the id every time. Okay, otherwise it will overwrite, or not overwrite, basically it will give you 500 error. We can generate id, but it's a basic one, right? So it's fine. नेम एडिट मत करो, एड्रेस. हाँ. Okay, share your screen. Let me check. What is that? Yes. Hmm. क्या है? हाँ. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Send it. Okay, for ID too. नहीं. Sorry, 8080 ही है. Okay, address is for 2. Address is Mumbai. 3 and it is 4. Hmm. Okay, go to put again. हाँ देखो ना, ऊपर देखो, ऊपर ये क्या पास किए हो, इसको टू करना पड़ेगा ना. आईडी, आईडी यू हैव टू पास लाइक दिस. Even if you are not passing id in the request payload, that is also fine, but there you have to pass properly. Okay. Okay, fine. Everyone done? Okay, now we will stop this application here. Okay, this application we have to stop because we have to write the code, right? Here's test code we have to write. So all these things will be there, but we'll run it from our what do you say, we'll run it from this, right, command prompt. Okay, in my case it's terminal. So you have to first go to this particular API demo folder. So using cd documents. Okay, I am not sharing my screen. Visible, right? Go to these documents and I mean wherever your location is, and API demo. Okay, API demo. Sorry, API demo. In API demo, you have to run this command. Okay, inside API demo or where your MVN means Maven things are stored, right? So just do a ls. If you see this form.xml is there, you will be good. Okay, now here mvn, the command is mvn spring boot colon run. This is the command line. Okay, mvn spring boot run. If you enter, now if you see, your application should be started. Okay, mvn spring boot colon run. This is the command, but you have to run it where your pom.xml is there, okay, of the application. And after running it, you should get the started API demo application in this seconds, right? This process. We are running it from main method. We are just doing the same thing using our command prompt, right? Using our command prompt. हो गया सबका स्टार्ट. हाँ. स्क्रीन शेयर करो. शेयर योर स्क्रीन. यहाँ पे सी एम डी ओपन करो ना. यहाँ पे लिखो सी एम डी. नहीं नहीं, इधर नहीं, इधर नहीं. वो लोकेशन, गो टू दैट लोकेशन एंड इन द ब्रेड क्रम राइट सी एम डी. हाँ, जहाँ पे, हाँ, जस्ट राइट सी एम डी. हाँ, एंटर. ओके, these are all shortcuts. You should know everything. यहाँ पे mvn spring dash boot colon run. Enter. Okay, application is started, right? Started application. So your application should be working. Now go to your VS Code and try to do everything. I mean, just try to run a put method or post method. No, everything is gone. Everything is gone because it's online database. So start with ID 1. Okay. Start with ID 1. Now send it. See, your API is working, right? Now if you get, so it is. Okay. Nirmal, Rupali. Oh, Nirmal. दे दिया ना, दे दिया ना, ये देखो ना. Okay, just let me know once you have started. थोड़ा ज्ञान बांटना है. कोई शादी में जाके अटेंड कर रहे हो क्या क्लास? Share your screen. It started. It started, right? I mean, to check whether it is started or not, just call a put. I mean, not put, post. Uh, just call this post. Mm. Fine, just send it. So 200 okay means your API is working fine, right? Your API is working fine. Correct. Now I am going to give you some gyan. So gyan is what is the best approach to test or automate the APIs. Okay, the worst approach is, let's come in worst approach. Okay, the worst approach is using Serenity I mean BDD. Okay, cucumber and BDD, because we cannot write the scenarios of the APIs. Okay, the best approach is either you test it using JUnit, okay, or you test it using TestNG. So we have our own TestNG framework, right? We have our TestNG framework. So we will use that TestNG framework to test API also. Okay. So let's open that TestNG framework in our this thing. Okay, in our where? In your VS Code. So open folder. What was the name? It's August Automation, I think. Oh, sorry, August Automation. Okay, click. हाँ, ऑगस्ट ऑटोमेशन है अपने पास, उसको हम लोग ओपन करेंगे. जस्ट अ मिनट, लेट मी ओपन इट प्रॉपरली. August automation, this, and then open. My screen is not visible or what? Now it's visible. So I have just opened our TestNG framework, nothing else. So once you opened, what we have to do? We have to test the API, REST APIs. REST API using which tool, which library we will use? The library name is restassured. Okay, restassured. So go to Google and put that restassured Maven dependency. Restassured Maven dependency. Okay, so go to this dependency. That's a restassured, right? So go to this restassured and click on this 5.5.0. Okay, you see there are so many vulnerabilities. Okay, but it's okay, we can do it, not a problem. For our local we can use this rest assured. Just go to Maven 5.5.0, or let's say in any previous version is having some better version. Okay, let's say 5.3.0. Okay, oh, so there is also vulnerability. Okay, anyway, we can use this with vulnerability, no, not a problem. um, let's use this 5.3.0. Okay, let's use this. Copy this dependency I am putting in the chat, and go to your pom.xml and put it here in the dependency you put here. Okay, so this is your rest assured dependency, and then control S. सही से पुट करना है, अदरवाइज इट विल नॉट रन. pom.xml में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगा. डन. हाँ, अभी तक कुछ किया नहीं. किया ना, pom.xml को मॉडिफाई करके सेव कर दिया ना. ओके. Okay, so now we will go to our test class directly. Okay, src test, this is the test. Okay, now here we will create one test class. We'll create one test class here. API test dot java. API test dot java. Okay, it's a class. API टेस्ट का जो भी मेथड्स है यहाँ पे लिखेंगे हम लोग, राइट. Okay. So first is at the rate test, test ng test, and public void validate get method. Okay, validate get method. Simple. Now here एक बेस URI हमें डिक्लेयर करना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो रेस्ट assured rest assured rest okay rest assured this, okay, dot base URI, rest assured dot base URI. Okay, so base URI what? Base URI is this. ये देखो बेस URI कहाँ पे गया, अपने पास था. So this is our base URI, right? This is our base URI. Rather, let's take this one. Okay, HTTP localhost 8081. This much. Base URI is just as a string, you pass it. Okay, this is our base URI. Now what we have to do, it's starting with given. Okay, given. Okay, given. So its given will not come directly. We have to import one something. Okay, so write down in the import section, write down import. We have to do a static import here. Import static IO. Okay, so this one, let's take this one. Okay, or rather import static I'll send you this. Okay, dot star. And we have to also do this import static, it's org.hamcrest org.hamcrest.matcher. Okay, dot matcher, then star. We are putting everything. Base URI. Okay, now this given should be given. Okay, let me put it in the chat, this import statements. These two things you just import in your class. It should not give you any red color or compilation errors. हो जाए तो बोलो. हो गया. This is also you are getting rest assured.base URI, this one, everything is fine. Okay, now here given dot given. Okay, why given is used? Given is used to generate your payload. Okay, or request payload. रिक्वेस्ट का जो बॉडी है उसको बनाने के लिए हम लोग गिवन यूज़ करते हैं. एज वी आर यूजिंग द गेट मेथड, ओके, देर इज नो request payload, right? So it will be normal, I mean it will be blank. Okay, now then given dot when, okay, given dot when is actual, where what operation you want to perform. The get operation we want to perform, right? Get operation we want to perform. Now this is my base URL. If you see, this is my base URL, but our whole URL is what? Our whole URL is slash students, right? Slash students. This is my whole URL, right? This is the action I want to do. Now dot then means what I want to verify, what I want to test. So let's say I want to test the status code should be 200. Okay, status code should be 200. Then let's do in the body, just a minute, in the body, let's say ID, right? Let's say ID should be what? ID should be sorry, ID should be 1. Okay, or not directly 1, we cannot write this like this. It should be, I think, equal to, yes or no, right? Equal to how did we get this? It's equal to or what? I forgot. ID, so body में, I mean in the body we will test whether the ID is equal to it is equals ID is equals 1. Let me check, I mean I'm not sure about this equal to or equals. Then और क्या एड्रेस डाला है ना, राइट? डॉट बॉडी, ओके, here we can put address. Let's say address should be not a null value, not a null value. जस्ट अ मिनट, ये क्या होता है इसका? नॉट अ नल वैल्यू ना, ओके, ये हैमक्रेस्ट जो यूज़ कर रहा हूँ मैं, मे बी let me import this ham crest. Okay, um, ham crest maven dependency. This one. I think that ham crest is for org ham crest, fine. This is, I'll give you the dependency, no worries. Ham crest, no, this is for ham crest all. Ham crest library, ham crest code, this ham crest I think it's, let's say this 2.2. Okay, yes, let me put in the pom.xml. I'll give you this dependency, no problem. Let me try first, because the default ham crest is not working properly. Okay, now there should be equal to not a null, equal to hamcrest org.hamcrest org.hamcrest. Okay, let me do it again. Import static org.hamcrest 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 dot matcher. Okay, matchers, and then star. Okay, so now it should come as equal आगे. Okay, id should be equal to some one value, and this is not a null, not a null. Okay, not a null value is not there, or rather we can say, let's say address we can directly pass. It should be equal to let's say Kolkata. Okay, let's say Kolkata. So these are the assertions we are putting. Okay, these are the assertions we are putting, like this. Okay, so what are the assertions we are giving? Status code. Let me give you this import statements again. You just replace those import statements. I mistakenly give this matcher. Okay, it should be matchers. And the hamcrest also you can put this ham crest, you can put. So we need two dependencies, one is rest assured, another one is ham crest. Now ham crest is also a part of rest assured itself, but that default ham crest may not work. So you better you use it. और रेदर अच्छा, और एक कर सकते हैं डॉट बॉडी is let's say name, right? Name should be what? It should not be a null. So not a null value. Not a null value. Not null value. Okay. This method, just copy it and paste it in your local. I have given in the chat. Done. Okay, now let's see, let's create one record. Let's say this is ID1, name is Shubham Banerjee, and this is say Kolkata. Okay, so if you send it, it should give you ID1 Shubham Banerjee and Kolkata, right? Now if you run this test through automated way, ऑटोमेशन में हम लोग रन करेंगे कैसे? जस्ट क्लिक ऑन दिस रन टेस्ट, सी रन 1 passes 0. अच्छा, फेलियर, कुछ तो फेलियर हुआ है. द एक्सपेक्टेशन फेल्ड, जेसन पाथ आईडी डजंट मैच. जेसन पाथ आईडी डजंट मैच. Okay, so it is coming as expected 1, but actual is something like this. Okay, inside braces, inside see here, can you see somehow the value is coming in bracket, correct? So we can put like this, so equal to 1, देखते हैं इसको. स्ट्रिंग एज ए स्ट्रिंग अगर पास करें तो क्या होगा? इक्वल टू string literally is not properly closed. Body this. Let me run it again and then let's see. No, right? Expected is 1, but I am getting this somehow. So what we can do is we can simply put like this, and now let's see if it is running. Okay, expected is this and actual is double. Okay, ऐसे डबल तो नहीं देना चाहिए. properly, but let's to pass it, I am just giving it. Okay, we have to handle in the. Okay, id doesn't match. Why? The expected is this, actual is this. Hmm. 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 That's a problem. That is a problem because the object. What about other assertions? Let me check. अच्छा, ये हर एक चीज़ ऐसे डबल ब्रैकेट ले रहा है, राइट? हर एक चीज़ ऐसे डबल ब्रैकेट ले रहा है. Why it is taking in double bracket? Okay, let me see. Let me check what is happening. It should be one. The status code is okay. The body path id equal to operand 1. Address is Kolkata and the name should be not null value. It is fine, but it is coming as क्या कर सकते हैं. एनी आइडिया? वो डबल ब्रेसेस को हम लोगों को निकालना है. वो एक स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट में आ रहा है ना, दैट. हाँ, वो एक्चुअली टोटल वो जो एरे एज एन एरे वो ले रहा है. ओके. Okay, so let's see, instead of equal to, let's see, we have the has item करके कुछ होता है क्या? Has item, right? क्या था वो? value is present, इसको has नहीं, everything is taking as array. Okay, so is instead of equal to, you just put has item. Okay, has item. So now it should be fine, I think. Has item is also that in the path it should have this item. Okay, or in your response thing, right? Response payload, it should have this id equal to 1, address equal to Kolkata, and name equal to, which is has not null value. Okay, let me run it and let's see. It's passed now. See, it is now green. Passes 1 and So this is how we we put something I sorry we test some using some get request. Okay, these things are, I mean, you can do many things. You can do many parameters. You can test many parameters like this in the body itself. Okay, so first thing you have to check is status code, whether your status code is 200 or not. After 200 it comes the 200, then you have to check the body portion. Okay, now same way we will do something in the post. Okay, we'll do something in the post, right? So it's state validate post method, right? So base URL would be this, and this should be, instead of get, it should be post. Okay, it should be post. Given now here it is important. So we have to pass the payload. Correct, we have to pass the payload. पास कैसे करें? So simply so dot given, अभी हमें what we have to do, we have to first create the payload. Correct, so given के बाद ये when थोड़ा नीचे रखो. Okay, now given उसके बाद dot there would be one content type. हम लोग क्या सिलेक्ट किए थे? Content type was application JSON, right? Sorry, content type जो हाँ application JSON. So here it is like content type sorry, content type कहाँ गया? Content type should be content type content type or rather content type में अगर ऐसे किया application dot sorry application JSON, application/JSON. This is what we had right in the post. Let me find headers. Content type is application JSON. इसको हम लोग कॉपी पेस्ट करेंगे यहाँ पे. We'll copy and paste it here. Application JSON. Now what? Now we have to pass the body. Okay, the body. Pass the request body actually. Okay, so it should be body. So body में क्या करेंगे? Just copy the payload from here. Okay, so this is my post, right? Copy the payload from here and directly paste inside the braces. Directly go to click on inside the braces and paste. Okay, now id 1 is already created, so let's create id 2, and this is my Subham Banerjee Subham Bandyopadhyay. Okay, address is Kolkata. Instead of Kolkata, let's have Pune. Okay, this is record 2. We'll generate it, and then when the post the URI is path is students, fine, and the status code should be 200, and post के बाद has item. Okay, id has item, let's say this is 2. Okay, and the address should be Pune, and the name is not a null value. Okay, so this is how we write post method. Okay, this is how we write post method. Let me format it. So Right. I am giving you in the chat. Just keep it. Okay, I think the whole thing not went there. It's still okay. This is the second part. Okay, I'm giving. Just copy it and paste it in your local. Got it. Now if we run it, let's see. It is okay. The JSON path ID doesn't match the expected. A collection containing 2, actual is 2. ID is 2. The name is Shubham Bandyopadhyay. JSON path ID does not match. This is assertion error I am getting. Okay. What about let's remove this one, right? ID, and let me run it again. Expected Pune, a collection containing Pune, the actual is Pune. Okay. In this case we can use equal to, I think. Equal to, I think. Equal to, and here also it should be equal to. Let me check. Don't change it, but let me check if it is working. It passed. Okay, so here in the post body, right, it needs the whole array. Okay, whole array of the data, so that is why it was throwing a problem that has item was not working, because has item will check only a single item. Okay, but in the post we'll use equal to, so not a problem. Okay, instead of has item you just use equal to. Okay, done. Passed, it is passed. Connection refused. your application is working, right? हाँ, तो एप्लीकेशन फिर से रन करो ना. ये देखो इधर, इट शुड बी स्टार्टेड. ओके. एप्लीकेशन रन नहीं करोगे तो कैसे चलेगा? कमेंट प्रॉम्प्ट में वो रन करो पहले एप्लीकेशन को. mvn spring boot colon run. Rupali, what is your problem? Spring dash boot colon run. Everything is small. Everything is small. What is the issue? Why build is failure? No, no plugin found for what? Okay. कहाँ पे? Why? I mean, share your screen first. I am sure you are not running in the correct location. माई ऑटोमेशन में नहीं करना है, एपीआई डेमो में जाके करना है उसको रन. गो टू एपीआई डेमो. गो टू एपीआई एंड हेयर mvn. हाँ, CM यहाँ पे mvn स्प्रिंग spring boot colon run. Enter. Wait. Now application is started, right? Now you go and test it. Check. Connection exception. Connected Java base. Okay. थोड़ा लेफ्ट में जाओ. एंड व्हाट अबाउट द पोर्ट? पोर्ट को क्या किया? देखिए, दिखाओ, ऊपर जाओ लिटिल. हाँ, 8081 है ना, 8080 होगा ना तुम्हारे लिए. लाइन नंबर 21. नाउ यू रन इट. Assertion exception, right? So you have to put, instead of has item, it's equal to. It should be equal to. Okay, both the things for id and नहीं गेट के लिए नहीं, सिर्फ पोस्ट के लिए. हाँ, equal to. इक्वल टू, हाँ, एंड आईडी के लिए भी करो, लाइन नंबर 32. हाँ, नाउ रन अगेन. ओके. ओके, नाउ गेट, गो टू गेट. गेट में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? उसमें नहीं, कोड कोड अभी कोड थ्रू. मैं मैनुअल नहीं देखूंगा, कोड. हाँ, एपीआई टेस्ट. हाँ हाँ. नहीं नहीं, कमेंट क्यों करोगे? कमेंट करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, सारे ऑन कमेंट करो. एंड वो पोर्ट का चेंज करो, लाइन नंबर 12 पोर्ट को चेंज करो, 8080. You can also take it this rest assured base URI at the class level, right? तो मैं अलग अलग मेथड लिख रहा हूँ इसीलिए वहाँ पे लिया, दैट इज़ फाइन. अभी करो ज़रा, रन करो इसको, गेट को. क्या है वहाँ पे? हैज़ आइटम. ओके, वन ID 1 है क्या कुछ? फर्स्ट चेक वेदर वी हैव ID 1. नॉर्मल गेट में जाओ, अपने गो टू योर थंडर क्लाइंट एंड चेक वेदर यू हैव ID 1 और डायरेक्टली यू हैव ID 2. हाँ, ID 2 है तो वहाँ पे तुमको ID 2 देना पड़ेगा, ID 1 वाला कुछ है ही नहीं, राइट? सो गो एंड रन अगेन. क्या है? हाँ, कोलकाता वाला नहीं है, कुछ और है आपके पास. यू हैव समथिंग पुणे. नाउ इट इज पास्ट. रूपाली, फॉर यू. Can you share your screen, Rupali? हाँ हाँ, तो दोनों टेस्ट केस आपका पास हुआ है, क्या एरर क्या मिल रहा है आपको? हाँ, अभी पुट एंड पोस्ट, सॉरी, पुट एंड डिलीट मेथड बाकी है. ग्रीन मीन्स इट इज पास्ट. ओके. हाँ, thunder client. Okay, now we will do put. Okay, put means what? Put means edit, correct? Just copy the post method, change the method name here, validate post method, instead of post method write put method. Okay, everything would be same. This body would be for id this, address instead of Pune you just put some other place, let's say Mumbai. Okay, let's say Mumbai in the payload, request payload. Okay, and in the post, see the students, right? Here you have to pass the id /id, because if you see in the thunder client we have for put, see how the things configured, students then slash the id, right? The same way we have to do here in our automation. Okay, students slash 2. So the total URL it will take http localhost 8081 then students slash 2. This is the URL. Okay, now it should be the id should be equal to 2 and it should be Mumbai. Okay, right. So if you run it, okay, so instead of post you have to write here put. Okay, put. Okay, line number 50, put. So if you run it, see it is passing, so put is passing. Now if you again you just run the get method here in the automation, you will get okay for 2, right? For it's 2 and has item it's Mumbai. Okay, so then what you are getting, you will get, okay, it's passed, right? Now if it is fail, if it is not it's suppose I am putting some other value, let's say Mumbai. Okay, then what will happen? See, the actual is Mumbai, but we are getting, I mean, the expected is Mumbai, right? So it should be Mumbai. Okay. Right, has item is basically will check whether you have that item or not. In the address you have that item or not. Okay, but in your you will pointing that particular thing. Yes. पोस्ट मत करो, हाँ पुट now put. निर्मल, आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? निर्मल किधर गई? सेम थिंग, पोस्ट मेथड को कॉपी करो, जस्ट कॉपी द पोस्ट मेथड एंड चेंज ऑल द पोस्ट टू पुट. Okay. Input payload, request payload, just change it. Okay, Mumbai, your address, you just change the address. Okay. Now I have not entered any authentication here. Okay, so you can also do the authentication using dot auth. Okay, dot auth method dot basic. Suppose you want to do a basic authentication, you can put your user id and password here. Okay, user id and password. But basic authentication means, suppose you are just entering into your gmail or facebook using your email and password. That is basic authentication. Okay, there is another kind of authentication which is called token based authentication. Okay, token based authentication. So auth dot see, there is OAuth. Okay, OAuth 2. So ये क्या होता है, पहले एक थर्ड पार्टी एप्लीकेशन होता है. ओके, we will have one third party application or third party API which will generate a token for us. So that token you can use in the OAuth 2 braces. Okay, OAuth 2 braces like this. Okay, as we do not have any authentication, just omit it for now. But in actual API testing, you have to either use basic authentication or token based authentication. Okay, token based authentication. Got it? I'll describe what is authentication and what is authorization. Actually, token based authentication is authorization, which is called. So suppose let's go to Google and search LinkedIn. Okay, search LinkedIn. So if you go to the LinkedIn, you are getting what? You are getting sign in with email or continue as. Just a minute. क्या हो गया ये? Oh, it's logged in my things, right? Okay, so if you are not logged in LinkedIn, okay, so can you just share your screen? Anyone, just go to LinkedIn in the Google and see how it is. Can you share your screen? Anyone, either Rupali or Vanilla, anyone. Okay, so go to LinkedIn. Okay, so what you are getting is sign in with email or continue as Google. So how they are continuing as Google? So you are authorized, you are authenticated in Google because you are logged in Google. Okay, now me as a client, okay, me as LinkedIn, as you have all the details with Google, and Google has authorized you to use their application. I am also authorizing you to use my application. This particular thing is called authorization. Okay, I am not authenticating you. I am authorizing you because you are authenticated in somewhere else. You are authenticated in Google. That is why I am authorizing you to use my application. ठीक है? This is called the open authorization. This is called the open authorization, or OAuth 2 or OAuth. Okay, and another what is another thing, that another thing is authentication. What is authentication? Authentication is what you are seeing in sign in with email. Can you click on this sign in with email? You will prompt to put your mobile number or email or user ID and your password. This is called authentication. Understood what is the difference between authentication and authorization? A very famous interview question. What is the difference between authorization and authentication? So you can put these kind of examples in front of interviewer, that authentication needs username and password. Okay, just like in LinkedIn we see, if you go for login with your email ID, then you have to put your user ID as email or phone number and password as your password. Okay, but there is another option called login with Google. Okay, or continue with Google. So continue with Google is basically, this is the authorization, open authorization. As I am already given all the details to Google, and Google has authenticated me, or I am authenticated in Google, so I am giving an API, or Google giving me one code. Using that code I am authorizing you. Okay, giving that, it's same. LinkedIn internally hitting the Google's API, Google is giving you one token, okay, string token, right? One token, and using that token, you are authorizing the user. Understood? Any question on authentication and authorization? Some, not Google, don't put Google, but not some third party, yes, third party application. Okay. And authentication means just putting right username and password. Did not get what was that? Hmm. Correct. I am authenticated in Google. That is why with that authentication I am able to use LinkedIn. Okay. The same way, basically the delete option also works. Okay, delete option also works. Um, it's fine. Let's do the delete. Then we'll be fine. You can stop sharing vanilla. You understood, right, vanilla? Okay, fine. Okay. So next thing is the delete, right? All the delete would be mostly similar to the get, right? Mostly similar to the get. So go there, this valid delete method, right? So base URI is the students, and there it should be one ID we have to pass, and then status code it should be delete. There should not be any, any method body, so given would be blank. So when delete this, then body is basically we are passing nothing. In the body we are passing nothing. What we'll do is id bhi nahi, in the body, um, just 200 ओके को ये करते हैं. ओके, right? Now if we just click on it, See, this method is passed. Now if we again uh, go and check whether just check in the Thunder client whether you have, see, only one item is there, number one is deleted, correct? So just calling the delete method, that is fine, that is okay, that's all. Okay, that's all. And we are checking whether the we are getting 200 okay or not. Okay. We can also check whether content types are correct or not, whether cookies are correct or not. Okay. Mm, using see, if you have any doubt, you can ask for the API automation. ID, yes, ID. One is ID. Hmm. Right, two. It will get passed because we are not throwing any errors, specially. Okay, suppose this delete method, right? So delete method I have, okay, this student as one, right? And if you send, it's student not found with ID 1, you should get that, but you are getting 200 okay. Okay, in the message we are giving this, but we are not asserting it, basically we are not asserting it. got it? Just a minute, I am getting some message from my office. Yes, you are saying something, right? Any doubt, Rupali and Vanilla? Sorry, I did not. You are asking. Okay, this 200 okay, Q 200 okay आ रहा है, right? Even if you have deleted it. So it is, see, after running again and again, we are getting the status 200 okay. That is why it is passing. Okay, and I am passing the student not found this with ID 1. Okay, you can assert this message also. Okay, you can assert this message also. How, I mean, you can assert it. How you can do it? See, this is status code we are asserting, right? Okay, body dot body, directly in the body we can put equal to this is coming or not. Okay, whether this is coming or not. Okay, let's say if we are running the delete method again, see, it is coming. So suppose you want to see the response basically. Okay, you want to see the response. So this is after, then you can, I mean, response body you can also check. Response body you can also check, right? So देखो, सपोज ये एक बार दिखाई देता हूँ, ये रेस्पॉन्स बॉडी कैसे करते हैं, राइट? सी, पुट मेथड तक, हाँ, ये एक रेस्पॉन्स टाइप ये होता है. ओके, रेस्पॉन्स टाइप देखो कैसे होता है. सपोज दिस इज माय पुट मेथड, राइट? ओके, इसको ऐसे करते हैं, रिस्पॉन्स कहाँ गया, restassured, yes, response, this is response. Okay, response equal to given this and till here it is response. Okay, till here it is response. Now you can put response dot then body. Okay, now if you want, you can also print the response body. Okay, response body कैसे? See, suppose this is sys out statement I am putting, so response dot get body, okay, dot as string और as pretty string मतलब वो जो जो मतलब जेसन फाइल है वो प्रॉपरली ये होके आएगा, प्रॉपरली प्रॉपरली कॉन्फ़िगर होके आएगा, मतलब अलाइंड होके आएगा. सो एज pretty string, okay, as pretty string. If you run it, you will see the response body in the console. कहाँ गया कंसोल में? सी, दिस इज द रिस्पॉन्स बॉडी, राइट? दिस इज माई रिस्पॉन्स बॉडी, करेक्ट? So this is how we can check, and we can log it also, okay, and also we can सपोज मेरे पास कोई कॉम्प्लेक्स जेसन फाइल, जेसन रिस्पॉन्स आया, जेसन पेलोड रिस्पॉन्स पेलोड आया, ओके, तो उसको ऐसे डायरेक्टली हम लोग के पास जो मेथड्स है, राइट, बॉडी देन वैसे नहीं हो रहा है, मुझे और भी थोड़ा सा डेप्थ में जाना है, correct? Or you have some response body already, you have to check whether that response body is equal to your response body. That is also possible. So ये just assert, ये तो string को read करके आपको assert करना है, that's it. Got it? So this is how we check everything in the response payload and we assert. This is all for your API automation. Okay, you need nothing else. If you understood the concept, you need nothing else. Authorization authentication का थोड़ा सा आपको you have to when you will do it with professional APIs, right, in your organization, you have to either use your authorization or authentication. Authentication क्या? What is authentication? You have to put your username and password. Authorization is what? Authorization is you have to put your token based authorization. Okay. Fine then. So tomorrow we will start our Jenkins jobs, right? Only one class will be pending. Theoretically only one class will be pending, and then we will take some practice session, okay? 1 or 2 practice sessions we will take. Fine. And what about mock interview? कब देने वाले हो mock interview? Let me stop the recording.